So I want to talk about the difference between a substantive book that gets read and a business card book. Business card books are a quick hit. They're usually easy to write. There's not a lot of depth to them. They tend to be step-by-step formulas for how this particular expert engages clients and gets them a result. They typically don't have a lot of detail or a lot of depth or a lot of stories, personal stories, client attracting stories, but they do have step-by-step. They do have enough for somebody who might work with you to understand your basic philosophy and how you do things. These are the books that you would hand out at a business conference if you're talking with somebody who seems to have the problem that you solve, or that you have a conversation with a potential client and you want to send it to them because it gives them an idea of what it is that you do and how you help them. So one of the good things about a business card book, and there is a time and a place in your business to write one of these business card books, is that by writing one and publishing it and putting it up on Amazon, it does in fact give you an instant credibility. Anybody who is investigating you as to whether or not you're an expert, in fact, an expert or one of these, people who slap up, a sign and say, hey, I'm an expert. This gives you the credibility. They're like, oh, this person actually knows enough to be writing a book, so they must know what they're talking about, right? So there is an instant credibility. The issue with a business card book is that if somebody purchases your book, or somebody receives your book, you hand it to them, what may happen is they will skim it. They'll get an idea of what the main features are, and they'll immediately put it down. It's not something they'll pick up again and again. It's not something that particularly moves them. It's just like, check, got it. I see what you do, no problem. So is there a time and a place? Yes, again, there's a time and a place to write the business card book. There may come a time in your business where you really want to move people, you really want to inspire them, you really want to share a deeper meaning, a deeper transformation. You want your life's work, you want your IP, you want your framework to be read and followed and used in people's lives, and to be discussed and to draw attention to you and to put you on stages and to put you in the media and to put you in a place where people see that you understand this stuff deeply on a visceral level. And Ryan Holiday, he calls these kind of books perennial sellers. Perennial sellers, as opposed to an expensive business card book, is something that a reader would pull off the shelf or would purchase from, Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And they would open the book and they would be immediately hooked. They would be immediately engaged. So much so that they would walk over to the couch or to the armchair with a cup of coffee, and they would keep reading and keep turning pages, and they would be deeply, deeply involved with your material, with the transformation. They would feel something. They would feel you. They would feel inspired. They would feel like, yes, they can solve the problem that you're describing. They get a sense of what you're all about and the impact that you have with this material, the impact that you have with them. And not only do they finish that book, they go back and they read that book. They go back and talk to their friends and family about that book. Anytime they're having a conversation with somebody who's experienced what you're describing in this book, they're saying, like, perennial seller, you gotta read this book. This is an amazing book. When you read this book, you got it. You understand it. So these are the books that stand the test of time, and they stand the test of time because they are substantive. They have depth. They have a sense of the author. They have a deep sense of meaning. They're curated. They're shaped. There's a structure to them that keeps people moving forward. And a business card book typically doesn't. It's written quickly. It's written with a quick outcome in mind, but it is not the kind of thing that puts you out there and establishes you as a truly, truly credible player in a very crowded field. If you're just getting going in your business, if you're not particularly a good writer, put a business card book together. Use it to shape your material. Use it to understand the steps that you take people through. Let it be a quick hit thing. But if you're more established, if you've done that already, if you want more impact, more authority, more credibility, more leverage with people, then you're gonna have to write something more substantive. And that's when you'd come talk to somebody like me.